Welcome one and all to the Stock Up Podcast YouTube channel. My name is Alex. I have got a standard deck here for you. It's Blue-White Control. Of course, it looks like a Blue-White Control deck from a different era. It doesn't really look like the typical Blue-White Control decks we see in Standard that are built around consult the star charts, stock up, and just piles of removal, basically. I've got things here. I've got lots of artifacts, the Enigma Jewel. Captain Marvel is like a big, angel sort of thing, some planeswalkers. We're doing something a little bit different with our control deck today. There's some new cards that have come out, the Mind Stone, Captain Marvel, Baxter Building, that I realized you could build a control deck in a different way than we usually have. So basically, the experiment here is to try something different than the typical, consult the star charts stock up builds. Now, those builds are very good, but I think what's happened is they've basically become the Jeskai or Four-Color control deck versions where they're all instant speed, they're all piles removal, they're all card advantage. I think that's a pretty good way to build a control deck, and they win with Jeskai Revelation, which is both removal and win condition. So I think basically that leaves blue-white control in a spot where you don't have much of a reason to play a consult stock up blue-white control version because you're just kind of worse than a Jeskai deck. So I wanted to try just completely rewriting the script, starting from scratch, and building a brand new deck that's blue-white. Taking advantage, again, of some of these new cards. So, it took me a while to build this deck, so I did not bother doing a video. It took me several hours, but let me let you know what's going on here. Thirst for Knowledge, a card advantage spell. So, like I said, we're going to try things that aren't consult, aren't stock up. Is this better than stock up? Is this better than consult? Probably not. We're going to give it a try. So, this is a card from the new set. It's a reprint of a very old card that I've loved for a long time. So, we've got Thirst for Knowledge to discard our excess artifacts. Now, the Enigma Jewel is an interesting card. On its face, the power of it could be a Soul Ring that enters tapped. Now, of course, it's not nearly that simple because it's legendary for 1, and for 2, you can only use the mana on activated abilities. That being said, we have a lot of activated abilities in this deck that we can use. So first of all, we have this new land from Marvel called Baxter Building. This might look kind of weird, but essentially what it lets you do is it lets you channel mana into the land that can only be used for other things. So let me give you an example. Sunken Citadel is a land that taps for 2 if you use land abilities. Enigma Jewel, land that taps for 2 if you use mana abilities. So if you have an Enigma Jewel and a Sunken Citadel, that can tap for 4 mana. You can tap your Baxter Building, so you're essentially tapping your Jewel, your Citadel, and your Building, and you're getting 4 mana. So in a way, this kind of combination of cards means that an Enigma Jewel is a true Soul Ring. Now, that's a lot of setup to do that, but all these cards have other uses. Sunken Citadel can be used with Demolition Field, can be used with Fountainport, can be used with Restless Anchorage. Enigma Jewel can be used with Candy Trail, which we'll get to in a minute. Mazemind Tome, you can use the ability of Mind Stone. Captain Marvel is really interesting because if you flash this in on turn 5, the way the power-up works is you will only have to pay 2 colorless mana the turn you flash this in to power it up to give it the indestructible counter. And what do you know? We've got an Enigma Jewel sitting around turn 5. You can flash in Marvel, and right away you get the essentially 6/5 flying, lifelink indestructible, which is really strong. Good with Day of Judgment, can't be wrathed away, that sort of thing. So that's sort of the activated ability train. Candy Trail is a card that I've played with in the past. It's essentially really nice with Ugin because Ugin is a very powerful card, very powerful top end, but there's not a ton of good colorless cards in Standard, and one of the powers of Ugin is actually, once it's in play, to be able to re-trigger its passive ability. So you do want colorless cards in your deck. And then Candy Trail, scry 2 for 1 mana, and then 2 mana later, you draw a card, you gain 3 life. Like a cantrip that's essentially Serum Visions plus gain 3 life would be awesome. And normally you have to pay kind of like Think Twice style of mana where you pay a little up front and a little more later to get your card. But with Enigma Jewel, you can essentially turn this into just 1 mana, scry 2, game 3. So all that to be said, it's just a completely different package of cards that we're going to try and see how it goes. I've got some interesting one-of split cards. Basically, Spirit Water Revival is another divination type effect we can use if we're trying not to use stock up or any of that, just to try something different. And then it also, we have a lot of artifacts and chaff lying around. You could tap the Enigma Jewel, you could tap a Candy Trail, and you can do the Water Bend. I'm also thinking this might be a pivotal card for winning the control mirrors. Right now, I expect the games to be something like you Demolition Field their Misrises, you have a couple counterspells for their Revelations, but they typically have, you know, a couple more counterspells of their own plus some more Revelations. So if you can get back some of these Demolition Fields, or even just one or two of these counterspells shuffled into your deck, I think maybe that could break serve in the control mirror. And control mirrors are really popular in Arena, so it's actually a pretty big factor for me. So I'm going to give that a try. Obviously, you know, on its face, this card's much worse than stock up in most matchups. But again, I'm trying not to play with those cards, trying to try something different. The different smattering of Planeswalkers here, again, might be silly, but it's for the thought as the control mirror. First of all, I don't really want to play 2 Elspeth Stormslayers. They just already have a lot of 5-drops. So instead of that, I'm playing 1 Ajani. And basically, this is because the Enigma Jewel on its other mode, which I don't expect to use often, but I have used, craft with 4 more non-lands. You basically can, like, if your opponent, let's say you're in a control mirror, your opponent has countered or killed all your Planeswalkers, hopefully they haven't exiled every single one. That's sort of why I'm playing a different smattering of them, so that not every single one gets inevitable defeated. Let's say you have at least some of them left. Fountainport also can kind of be included in this, where if Fountainport goes to the graveyard for whatever reason, you can also copy the ability with Enigma Jewel. You exile all these things. Oh, this is non-land, so the Fountainport doesn't count. But the Planeswalkers, they go to the graveyard, exile the different Planeswalkers, and this can actually, once it's flipped, use Planeswalker abilities, and it'll double them. So this will be plus to make 2 1/1s, and obviously they can't attack the Enigma Jewel. Elspeth, make soldiers, etc. So that's the idea, obviously, and I'm splitting up my counterspells because Deadly Cover-Up's a really popular card now too, and I don't want them to be able to easily Deadly Cover Up, you know, if I had like, if the only counters I was playing was like three steps ahead, which I was considering, then they could Deadly Cover Up my 3 steps ahead, get all 3. I can't Spirit Water Revival them, probably lose. So it may seem like I'm overthinking the control mirrors. I might be, but you know, when you're building your deck completely different with different win conditions and whatnot, that's one of the things that's important to consider, especially since those decks are really popular in Arena. As for aggressive strategies, you know, we've got Beza, we've got Day of Judgment. I'm hoping the Captain Marvels pull their weight. A little bit of spot removal spread out here. And yeah, we're just going to see how it goes. Some stuff in the sideboard here. Torporo's kind of nice against the Demon deck and whatnot. So yeah, stick around for some games, okay? And we'll see how it goes. Guess I also wanted to shout out some inspiration I had for this deck. First of all, Jim Davis in one of his videos was using some of these synergies. These artifact synergies at the Baxter Building and whatnot. That was pretty cool. I'm sure you all have seen Jim Davis. And then Baby Frogs, which I believe his real name is Will Erker. Go check out his YouTube. He did a video talking about the ban and restricted announcement that was happening last Monday. Of course, nothing actually got banned. But he did predict some bans, and, you know, he brought up the point that it would probably be pretty fair of them to ban Consult and Stock Up. I ultimately don't think he thought they were going to do that. I don't really think they would do that either. But I do think it would be pretty fair. And so, yeah, that was another reason I wanted to just kind of try to build the deck without Consult and Stock Up and just see how it went. All right, so it looks like we're up against like a black-white life gain deck here. Hopefully Day of Judgment will be pretty good. So my question is, like, do I want to let them build their board up a bit? Or do I want to use a seam rip on this? I think I'll seam rip this now, since it can grow for quite a bit and hit me for quite a bit. And then we'll try to use the Day of Judgment like right before Ugin sort of thing, so we won't do it right on turn 4, ideally. Okay. So these decks, they do sometimes kind of have a powerful late game. So you gotta be a little careful for that. They've got things like Raise the Past, or sometimes they'll have the... forget what it's called, but there's a white and there's a 2 mana like white black enchantment that like makes bats and draws a bunch of cards and drains life, that sort of thing. I think Ugin plus Sweepers should go over the top of them pretty easily. But I have underestimated this deck before because it looks kind of weak, but it's actually like a pretty strong tier 2 or 3 deck. Okay. Captain Marvel. Interesting. So yeah, obviously my opponent's not doing anything particularly threatening right now. I assume that's mostly because they're kind of stuck on mana. I imagine they could have, like, Get Lost or Shoot the Sharp or something in their deck, so I don't want to just run this out without Power Up. The plan right now is just to use Fountainport to make a treasure, since they're not actually presenting anything very threatening. And what I can do is I can just cast the Ugin and exile the Channeler. I agree, it is nice. Let's hit him with the Moogle. So they need like a Get Lost in a Road or Bitter Triumph, sure. Okay, now one of the interesting things about Captain Marvel is you can, if you have 7 mana, you can flash it in and then kind of hold the power-up ability as a protection against removal. So we're going to run that play. It does make it a lot more expensive if they just never try to remove it. But like if they were to tap out here, then I could power it up. And it leaves them in an awkward spot where like they kind of have to leave open removal and not tap out if they don't want me to do that. Captain Marvel, one of my top 10 cards from the set. I think I've been pretty happy with that. This set's obviously like a little weaker than a lot of standard sets, but you go check out our Marvel Top 10 episode of the podcast. That was pretty fun. Okay, so they are going to tap out. Again, like, even if they had a removal spell for the Marvel, they might not feel like they can just waste their mana. Like, if I just untap, and they're kind of in the same spot, even though it costs me a lot the next turn. So let's go ahead and power up here. It'll get back. Oh, they have a Poisoner's Apprentice. Oh, no. I didn't even notice they discarded that. When this creature enters... Why didn't this work? Huh. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really understand why that didn't work. Oh, because I was a 6/5. Yeah, you get a +1/+1 counter. Right, okay. So yeah, just cast Day of Judgment here. And attack. And pretty good spot. Got a counterspell. Don't really have card drawing, but I think Marvel plus, you know, Johnny should be able to get it done from here. I'll let this resolve. It's not going to draw a card, probably. And this lets me use the 3 steps ahead as like a dismiss next turn, potentially. How much mana do I have? 3, 7. Sure, I'll play the Tome. And we'll pass the turn. Trying to loop up 5. That's like 3+2 or 5 with the dismiss mode. Channeler, sure. They might not have a way to remove Captain Marvel. Of course, you know, in theory could gain so much life that my 6 power guy doesn't matter too much, but it means that I gain a bunch of life. Okay, this guy is pretty nice. So let's go with counter, draw 2. Discard my excess Enigma Jewel. Okay, no real reason I need to scry, I don't think. Okay, so now we can go Mind Stone, the Johnny. We'll destroy the Hylia. And sure, play Enigma Jewel. And we can leave the Marvel back for a turn to block the Ajani. It's not like we're clocking them at any fast pace. Which is funny, because it's a 6 power creature, but hey, gain that much life. Alright, here's the other Hylia. Not getting past us. Channeler Dose. Okay, so they're going to their end step. They do not draw a card. We will draw a card with Mazemind Tome. Okay, Johnny's gonna plus for a while.
By my side, friend.
Beza. Let's see. So if I use the jewel with the building, I could essentially go up 1 mana. So I have 4, 5, 10 mana. So I could actually get low enough on cards so that I could draw a card off Beza, so I might as well do that. The question is, do I want to kill one of these Chandlers or the Hylia? Probably since it's an exile spell, I should just get this big Chandler. Oh, I didn't use my jewel. That's okay, I'll use it with the Tome. That's even better. Play this. Play Beza. Draw a card. And attack. Okay, cruising. This is kind of fun too because it's just like a bit of a different play pattern for a control deck than, you know, Jeskai. I've been playing like Jeskai control decks a bit. Get a little bit bored of them. All right, your opponent loses life, you gain that much life. So presumably they have a second card in their deck that would combo with that. So, ooh, Dead Judgment. Sorry, Beza. Just put him in play, and he's already going to go. But it's for a good cause, you know? Dead Judgment plus. Sure, play another Mazemind Tome. I imagine this is going to wrap things up. Sure. Draw some cards here. Make a fish. Why not? I guess I'll hold that. I haven't shown them a demolition field. It's not.
Side by side.
Oh, I can imagine that matters that much, but hey. Okay. Candy Trail. Pass turn. Alright. So, white, black. You know, life gain, mid-range. Probably have some combo elements, but nothing too terribly fast. Seam Rep and Rides In both seem good. Let's see. I probably don't have a ton of ways to interact with Legend of Kurok profitably. I could have that. Probably better than like Spirit Water Revival. And I don't know about counter spells against them either. Aang. Aang might be kind of nice. I don't know. Get bounce a Chandler. Flash it into block. Sounds okay. Is Torp Orb nice? Creatures entering don't cause abilities to trigger. Oh yeah, that's like kind of their whole shtick, huh? Okay. Let's not go to Beza. Or Aang. So like maybe I cut Beza and Aang. I play like the Legend of Kurok. Seems reasonable. I maybe should still have Beza anyways. Like, because if I don't draw Torpor, Beza's really good. And even if I do, it's still a 4/5. Yeah. But I think the Legend of Kurok is going to be better. Cut like Thirst for Knowledge or something for Beza. Feels weird not to play Beza against their deck. They do have a lot of like flyers. And their creatures can get really big, so the 4/5 doesn't matter a ton. They're often going to have less cards in hand than me. They're often going to have less lands in play than me. I think it's okay not to play it. Okay, this hand is fine. Can actually go turn 1 Enigma Jewel. We'll be playing catch up a little bit to get white mana into play. But like on turn 2 we can play Mazemind Tome and draw a card right away, which is nice. More ninjutsu, okay. I could use the demolition field to find a white too, so like I could demo to get a white to cast Seam Rip this turn if I wanted to. Might be worth it. This Leonardo is going to deal a lot of damage to me. Forgo the tome. Yeah, that's probably correct. Let's go demolition field. Sure, we'll hit the Godless Shrine. Just fixing our mana here. Okay. And yep, hit that guy. Just trying to buy some time. Hopefully their hand is more aggressive and less, like, grindy. Because our hand's pretty good against an aggressive start, but it's not great against, you know, card advantage elements or enchantments, this sort of thing. More Leonardo. This is legendary. Maybe I should just let him have it. Ooh. Alright, let's play Tome. And we put Citadel on white here for a Day of Judgment. And we'll see if we can... Okay, Lunar Convocation is the card I was sort of afraid of. Let me remind myself what this does. So I lose a life every turn, pretty much. And then with their starting town, they're kind of going to get a 1/1 every turn, and then they can pay 1 a black to draw a card. That's pretty nice. Alright, so draw a card. That would have been a reason to demolition field a starting town. I just didn't think of it. I like Captain Marvel because I have a Jewel out, so once I get to 5 mana, I can do the indestructible mode. That being said, I'm under kind of a lot of pressure. Let's Day of Judgment and let them do their thing. Hopefully they can't rebuild too easily. Okay, so they're looking for land. They found it. Okay. Draw a card. Alright. Seam Rip for Lunar Convocation is nice. I might just do Captain of Marvel, though. That's pretty good. So, I could play it and make it indestructible. Or I could try to flash it and eat the bat. The Enigma Jewel powering it up is like a pretty weird thing, and I think it's not super intuitive, and my guess is my opponent's never seen that before. So this might be greedy, but I actually think there's a chance that, like, I play the Marvel, the block, and they play a removal spell on it, and they don't see the Enigma Jewel. But, might be a little greedy. We'll see. Alright, I'm going to start with Hylia. Oh, they're just tapping out. Okay. Here she is. Alright. Now we get to Seam Rip the Lunar Convocation. I like this card. When this card first came out, I built a lot of decks with it. It was fun. That being said, we'll have it no more. And we'll Wrath. Oh, I love Captain Marvel so much. Such a sweet card. I love me a big white, you know, like angel blue-white control. It's pretty sweet. The Enigma Jewel has been really good this game, I would say. Been like butter with the Mazemind Tome. Demolition Field even for fixing mana. I am running only 3 of these because, you know, Legendary Artifact's a little rough. Got Thirst for Knowledge to help out, obviously. I thought about playing, like, some Meringue River Regents, even, for more, like, card drawing that incidentally can benefit from having extra cards to discard. But deck list is tight. Alright. Do you have an answer for my indestructible creature? This is a chump block. Sure. Chump block. Candy Trail is here. Yeah, those are both just cover a lot of bases. I'm happy to have those. Candy Trail is a funny card because it's definitely like one of my pet cards in Standard, and I don't like the art very much, but I really like what the card does, so I kind of wish it had a better art. But that's okay. I am very I am very aesthetically motivated, we'll say. I really like the art of Magic cards. It's a big deal for me. I really like the art of this Captain Marvel. I think in general, like, I'm not a huge superhero fan, but the artwork from this Marvel set is awesome. Much better than like the Spider-Man set or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle set, I would say. So I've been pretty pleased with it. I'm kind of just clicking things at random at this point. I think we've kind of wrapped this game up. Sure, I'll play Ugin. Exile a guy. Draw a card. Attack. Alright, good games. On to the next one. I'm kind of hoping we get paired against a meta deck so we can test our metal. Don't really want to play against his prowess, though. I think that'll just break my heart. It'll just beat me too easily and bum me out. Okay, we're up against Sephiroth Avatar and Jason Mind Sculptor Sleeves. I'm going to guess this is probably a control mirror. Just off of vibes, you know? But we will see. Floodfarm Verge. Sure, looking like it. Let's go with the Enigma Jewel here. Floodfarm Verge is, like, not a very common land to play in 4-color, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think. It's like a white first Verge. So, I wonder if that means they're also playing blue-white control? That'd be kind of unexpected. Haven't seen a standard blue-white control deck in a long while. Signs are pointing to blue-white control. Sure, I'll play a Candy Trail here. I mean, hitting land drops is pretty important in a control mirror. Kind of already a plenty, though. That being said, I have an Ugin in my hand. I've got a Fountainport. I think those are fine. I don't know. I am just gonna, like, cycle this Candy Shell right away, so maybe I don't need the extra lands. Alright. Does look like we're up against blue-white control. We'll start cooking with the Fountainport here. Enigma Jewel lets us get it going a little early. Oh, King T'Challa. That's kind of a card I forgot about. I'm gonna counter this. I don't think it's worth spending one of my counter spells. It's a pretty valuable resource in this matchup. But, like, I'll Rides End it. I wonder if this card should be in my sideboard. Even just, like, as a one-of, you know, for the front side against other decks that draw cards. Maybe. It's a little awkward because a lot of the card advantage in Standard is, like, stock up and consult, which don't actually draw cards. What is this? Alright, so my opponent's doing something pretty different. So they've got... Well, this is just a removal spell. This is kind of an interesting Planeswalker. Let's see. They've got 4 cards in hand. So I can't... For any value, anyways. I don't hate just playing a 4/5, though, to pressure the Jace. My other play would be, like, I could Fountainport for a treasure... And do that twice in a row and play the Ugin. But I could always do the treasure next turn. So sure, we'll play the Beza. Just vanilla 4/5. Make them get losted or whatever. I have Fountainport, so get lost, you know, since Super Stellar. So how's this work? Draw card, discard... The -6 can be nasty if they're able to set some nice up. Oh, okay, they're like a creature deck. Huh. Riddler. Yeah, alright. Much different than I expected. Well, this is more interesting, at least. It makes sense why they're playing the Gleaming Bastions now. Jennifer Walter's kind of nasty, because I can't use any of these counter spells in my hand. Not much I can do about it, though. So, yeah, just going to make a treasure with Fountainport. And then we'll play Ugin, and then at least even if they have a counterspell, I can still exile the Jennifer Walters. Now, why would they play this over Voice of Victory? Is it because it's a hero? And they have, like, Captain America and other hero cards in there? Probably. Riddler, yep. Not much I can do about that. I guess it's probably better to exile the Riddler because it lets the Beza attack the Jace. So we'll do that. Take 2, make a treasure, and play Ugin. Bang. Plus, there is a question, so I'm playing 2 Mind Stone and 0 Iron Crags, and that might be a mistake because obviously the Mind Stone's a lot better, right? Because it taps for white mana, which like can cast Seam Rip right away, can help me cast Beza and Day of Judgment. But it is legendary, and the Iron Crag's colorless, which works better with Ugin, so honestly I should probably have a split. One of the things that was happening when I was building my mana base is I kind of have a lot of color slants. I was a little worried about my mana. That's why I ultimately went with 2 Mind Stones, but... Okay, what am I going to do here? This would require 8 mana, but I could use the Jewel. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can't use these counter spells, so I guess that's what I'm going to do. Play Mind Stone. I can't use counter spells to fight back, but... Yeah, Mind Stone, and then... We attack for 4. And we harness the Mind Stone. I could have cracked a map first, maybe dealt another damage. They go for Iceberg on the Mind Stone. Alright, that's fine. Wasn't that big a deal either way. Either way, I was just gonna blink my Beza every turn. I didn't want to do that anyways. I wonder if my opponent has some green mana. I bet they've got like Multiversal Passage in their deck, because this only needs 1 green mana to get the other side. Kind of a good card. Alright, they left this back. For what reason? Well, if they have some sort of flash thing, I've got all these counterspells I've been dying to use, so... Bring it on. No? Can I can use this for its own abilities. This kind of costs 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, but I'd have to tap out. They kind of clearly are going to play something on my end step, so... Why don't I just Thirst for Knowledge? King K'Challa. Yeah, no thanks. No, thank you. Refute. You have a counterspell? Oh. Oh, this makes sense. They wanted to be able to pay teamwork. Okay. So I draw a bunch of land. And they're gonna draw cards. That's not fun. No bueno. Alright, well let's use the Fountainport on my turn here. So I don't draw even more cards with the King Chala. Okay, Johnny's nice because presumably they're gonna attack with this. Although, if they leave up 6 mana, they could prevent all damage. That's pretty annoying. What is this? So it can filter for the green. So they would need an extra mana, basically. They did not flip to draw extra cards. Kind of happy about that. That would have been really good. Iceberg. On Beza? On Jewel. On Beza. Okay. Welp. Oh, that's a nice combo. Dang. Drawing all kinds of cards. Alright. let's put an end to... It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Because if I kill Ichala, I can't use 3 steps ahead. Yeah, let's kill Ichala still. Can't cast spells on her turn. Can't quite craft with that. Tough spot. I guess I may as well just do this. Let's see, let's tap these Fountainports. We don't need these. Or Demolition Fields, rather. Okay. Definitely, like, in need of some stuff. Kind of flooded here. Yeah. I'm gonna make a treasure with the Fountainport because I'm trying to do the full mode on this Spirit Water. I wonder how many counterspells they're gonna have. Boy, their deck's like a blue-white flash deck, I guess. It's kind of tough. Typically, flash or tempo style decks have advantages over control decks, and definitely feels like that way here. If the Jennifer Walters had been a different threat, it wouldn't have been such a big deal, but not being able to cast anything on their turn has been rough. I don't really know why Jace Reawakens in their deck, I'm gonna be honest. Doesn't seem like it does a ton. Riddler, okay. So at least I get to do my Spirit Water Revival. Ooh, Captain Marvel. Yeah, I've got Exile Removal. Let's just do the Revival. Make sure we tap all that, and make sure we tap that, tap that. All right. Drew a lot of cards. Will it be enough? I don't know. Let's play Candy Trail. Elspeth. I don't know if we have time for more Thirst for Knowledge. Elspeth's good, though. Yeah. Kind of a ton of just, you know, tap to draw cards things going on. Yeah, let's play Mindstone and another Candy Trail. Another Candy Trail. Probably. I mean, it scries, it gains life. It's probably worth it. It's kind of like a Thirst for Knowledge, but I can use just 1 mana up front to scry. This is quite the match. So much for playing against a meta deck. Not like my opponent probably wanted to play against a meta deck too, and I'm here with Enigma Jewel. So, how many of that card does he have? Does he know it's legendary? I guess he doesn't care. He's got 3. Alright. Maybe that's why the Jace is here, to loot away legendaries. I mean, it, you know, draws a card, they can plus with that, I guess. Alright, so the question is, what am I going to do with this Elspeth? Oh, they still have the Jennifer Walters unanswered. I can't flash in Marvel. Alright, well, let's play Elspeth. See how many counterspells they have. I think I just have to plus it. 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we'll try playing Marvel. Hopefully they can't counter this. I mean, it's pretty likely they have a counterspell. There's nothing I can do about it. They have Jennifer Walters and counterspells. It's rough. It's rough. Please don't counter it. They're gonna counter it. They didn't counter it. I'm the one who has to act first. I'm making it indestructible, so yeah. I guess I could just not make it indestructible. Like, why does it matter? It doesn't really. Like, if they have Get Lost, they're going to be able to Get Lost anyways. Yeah, this is fine. Just use my mana to crack my candy trails. And if they have Exile, then it doesn't matter, so yeah. Well, Aang's kind of whatever, because I could just flash it back in. Right? This time I will make it indestructible. Because I'm going to need it to block the Aang being scary. So obviously I'm dead to a lot here. This is going to be a hard matchup to win. Even after sideboard, it's going to probably get even worse after sideboard, to be honest. But we'll try our best. Just like a clunky blue-white control deck versus blue-white bad against aggro flash. This has probably been their best card in the matchup. Wish they didn't have so many. There's Captain America, which doesn't do a whole lot for them. They pass. Okay, they're going to try to protect their Jace, I guess. Oh boy, really need a Day Judgment. That'd be nice. How many of those do I have in my deck still? 3. Alright. Let's go with a Candy Trail. See if we can scry into a Day Judgment. Definitely good on the land department. What's the best way to draw cards here? So if I actually draw cards, the Call draws cards for them, that's pretty annoying. But there's not much I could do about it, right? Yeah, they could waterbend the Aang. I could destroy the Aang or the one Riddler. Yeah, I just priced into finding Day Judgment at this point, I think. Ugin. Ugin's nice. So I can play Ugin. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Sure, let's cast Ugin. Exiling, I guess, the Jace. I could hit the Iceberg, have a Beza. It's kind of good. Sure, let's do that. And we'll see what they have for me. Kind of just, you know, at mercy of what's in their hand. But I do have a lot going for me this turn if they don't have counterspells. But we will see. Of course, they have 3 steps ahead. Alright. I mean, that's relatively unbeatable, so yeah. Let me thirst for knowledge here. Got 3 counterspells of my own. I find nothing. Alright. Okay. So let's... What are we doing at this point? I might as well attack the Jace. Kind of just is going to eat a creature. Then I guess I'm plussing the Elspeth, so I should have done that first. Just let Jace go, sure. Alright, plus Elspeth. Still can't cast anything on their turn. What's the flip side of this do? Reach Trample. Creature you control is dealt damage. You have essential should deal damage to any target once per turn. Alright. Sure, they're giving me the Mind Stone back. And give me another mana, which I can actually use, so thank you. Guess I really want to scry. I wish to keep this one. Oh, they tap their creatures. Like, they tap their Aang. So I could kill the Aang. Which I think kind of matters because it could flip and attack me. Pump the whole team over there, so sure. Okay. Can they kill my Elspeth? That's the game right now. Again, though, if I draw a Day of Judgment, like... They do have kind of a house of cards here. Alright. Boy. Well, there's Day of Judgment at least. So, I lose the Elspeth, unfortunately. But I might have more power left in my deck still than they do, to be honest. I kind of need to kill this before they untap, because they can do the 8-mana mode. Aegon Beza is like A-okay with me. They're not killing me, right? No. So yeah, this is fine. It's gonna lose Elspeth either way. This way I also take some damage, but I get to Wrath and then play Beza. I guess if they have another 3 steps ahead, I'm gonna lose, but surely they can't have that many of that card in their deck, right? Surely. Surely. Here's Day of Judgment. Why are you like this, opponent? Alright. I've got some counters I could find. Did not find them. Man, this is just more exhausting than anything else. Sure. Let's see. Mazemind Tome, Negate. I mean, their deck's all creatures. What does Negate do? Play the Beza. Draw a card. I guess their life total's somehow getting kind of low. Which is interesting. Too bad I haven't drawn my Restless Anchorage. That would have been great. Boy. So at this point, Oh, I see. That's kind of good with airbending. I mean, their deck makes sense. Synergy-wise, it's just like, instead of playing cards that are good against aggressive decks, they're playing like Jace Reawakened and 3 steps ahead. And they would like very clearly get run over so quickly by aggressive decks. I like the Helicarrier Strike. Oh no, they also have Captain Marvel. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Here's Refute. So if I can dig to Ugin, I can win Ugin or Ride's End. I only have one of those things left, though. So, like, maybe I keep Refute. What does Refute even do for me, though? I guess I'll put it on the bottom. Again, I'm more looking for specific cards here than anything else. So, yeah, we don't need another Beza. Let's go Mazemind Tome. Draw a card. Man. Alright, pass turn. Yeah, I guess their deck just has more... Considering... I mean, if I had just lined up my answers, like if I had found the Refute... Literally, if it wasn't the top card, like if I had drawn one extra card, you know, find the Refute... Counter the Appa, game's pretty over. If they didn't have that 3 steps ahead for that Ugin, or if I had found the Negate. So it has been really close, but obviously, like, their deck is just kind of over the top with mythics and high power cards, so it's just really hard to outgrind stuff like this. I mean, I could make it, you know, if I didn't care about winning against really competitive decks, I could also build a deck like this. Sure, we'll go with Treasure Token. Okay, so at this point, I think I have to go for decking, I would say. So I don't actually want to draw too many cards. Whoop. So, yeah. Because all I have left... I mean, I guess I have some Day of Judgments left. What does Power Up say exactly? Mana cost, yeah. Transform Aang. Oh my god, tap the Demolition Fields. Oh, you know what? I need to demolition field this, demolition field of theirs so I don't get my Fountainport or my Anchorage. Get to see what's left in my deck here. So 1 Ugin, 2 Wraths, and a counter. I have the Enigma Jewel too, I guess. 2 counters. Okay. Let's go ahead and get Marvel back down. And I'm going to draw a card. Ugin. Alright. It's getting interesting. How many candy trails do I have left? 1, 2... Still have 2... No. I only have 1 candy trail, so... Can't exile that much more stuff here. If I can remove that shield counter from Captain America, so like if I can find Day Judgment, I can use my Ugin to exile their Marvel. So that's probably the plan at the moment. And I'm going to scry... Well, I'm still quite a bit ahead on the cards equation here, so I could draw cards. This is quite the game. This is making me tired. I'm behind on time, too. Okay, I gotta pick up the pace of play. Drink more coffee. All game 1, by the way. Orang, yeah. What does this do for them? Maybe they're gonna try to counter Marvel on the way back down. Okay. Marvel. Go to blocks. What is this gonna do? It's going to turn Jennifer Walters to play, so I can't cast spells. But that's okay. Oh, everybody, it just makes robots. What am I saying? Alright. Activate ability. So, how's this work? Whenever Black Panther deals combat damage, draw a card. Alright, this is definitely blocking Captain America. And that is double strike, so sure, let's block that with our indestructible guy. And then I take 12, 18. Okay. But I gain 6. Oh, this prevents all damage. Should have read that card better. Okay. So... Scry. They left their subs open to Day Judgment here, so if we just find that, we win. Draw a card. I did mess up, though. Scry. We've got 2 Day Judgments. Surely we can find it. Surely. Johnny. Is that good enough? Nope. There's Day Judgment. Oh, and actually we could have just won with Ugin, because we just exile Aang and then attack with Marvel. No, that's only 8. Yeah. So... Day of Judgment. Sorry, Beza. And then Ugin. Exile their Marvel. Gotta play another game. Oh my gosh. Alright. So between Riddler, Aang, and Appa, probably be reasonable to have. I would have to cut. Like I could cut Beza. And Negate was just like kind of bad against them. Ride's End kind of answers stuff. Legend of Kuruk. I mean, that match really was about just like straight power. I could see having the Legend of Kuruk for sure. Turper Orb. I don't know about Turper Orb. Like, their creatures are still gonna do things. It definitely nerfs them. Oh, what does Seamrip do for me? Not a whole lot. I guess it gets Jennifer Walters. null. This is gonna be tough. Alright, let's cut Seam Rip. Bring in the Torp Orbs and the Legends. I think roll it like this. My Angs would be... okay, but I'm bringing in Torp Orb. Let's try it. This has been kind of fun, these two matches I've played. Not very indicative of Standard at all, but... well, not very indicative of, like, the top tier Standard, but it shows that, like, some of the lower power decks can be really fun. Okay. Boy. This is not a good matchup for me. All those things I was saying about how my opponent's deck was unreasonable and clunky, it probably applies to my deck too. I'm just being holier than thou. Alright, get my tap land in play here. Start making fish next turn if I want to. Sorry, no, not until the next turn. So in that case, play Candy Trail. And yeah, we're kind of flooded here. Don't need those. Pass. Okay, we gotta watch out for King T'Challa. Let's see what they have here. Hopefully they don't have King T'Challa. I definitely would rather be in their position. I think they're gonna be really favored these next two games, so I'm kind of glad I won the first game. Just kind of have to try to steal another game. Okay, so I'm gonna crack the Candy Trail into turn if they leave up 3 mana, because that way they can't play T'Challa. Guess a Legend of Kuruk's pretty bad against T'Challa. Man, this is tough. This is gonna be tough. Okay, well, Ugin's one of my better things. Could play the Enigma Jewel. It's not doing a ton in play, I guess. I'll just make a treasure. I think that's the best thing I can do. Treasure. The Mind Stone. I almost don't want to cast anything to give them any reason to play like a counterspell, but I guess the Mind Stone is like pretty unlikely to snag anything. So, yeah, let's just... yeah, tap the Demolition Field Arena. Let's play the Mind Stone. I need to play faster. Wow, didn't expect that. Alright. I get to play the Legend of Kuruk now. Okay. Sure. Kind of like having a close card in my hand for Ugin. But I do need to find interaction and not just card drawing. Boy, people love their 3 steps ahead. What are people going to do when that card rotates? Get lost. Okay. Tough but fair. Boy. Not a ton of... just kind of... this Ugin's my only way to interact with my opponent. Just gotta, like, ramp up to it. So I definitely want to make a treasure this turn. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. I guess I could maybe Thirst for Knowledge instead. Oh, I can't do that because I passed the turn. Treasure it is. So this Ugin's like just so likely to die, but I mean... kill the Jennifer Walters. No reason to blow my treasure, I guess. Ang their Walters. Okay. That's fine. And Negate. That's less fine. These maps help me. Spirit Water Revival. Oh, they get to play it as She-Hulk. Nice. Okay, deck. We've got the lands already. We don't need more. Okay. Well, let's see what happens when I do this, I guess. Hopefully they don't have anything too crazy. Rides End. Gosh, I don't need both these Mazemind Tomes. Alright, I'm gonna pass with 5 mana. And if they do something in a turn, I could, Rides End, like if they played the Black Panther, I could at least kill it this way. Surely the Resident Crux still good enough. And if they don't do anything and, you know, I'm locked out from spells, I can at least, like, crack my candy trail and draw some cards and stuff. And then on the next turn, this will be tapped. I can remove it with Ride's End. Without King Kachala, they don't really have much card advantage in their deck. Or Riddler. I guess Riddler's the other thing they could draw cards with, but they don't seem to have drawn either of those. So that's fortunate. Alright, let's Candy Trail. And then I'm going to make a treasure, I think. So I have this Spirit Water Revival. Ooh, yeah, let's play Torpor Orb. This is why I'm timing out. I have to manually tap these Demolition Fields every turn. Okay, Torpor Orb in play. Let's see if we can end the She-Hulk here. Hit more Negates. Aang doesn't do anything, so Torpor Orb. Okay, they're like, yeah, that shuts up my deck. Alright. Ha! Okay, well, unfortunately that's all the time I have for today. That match went so crazy long. I was hoping to get in 3, but I'm just going to settle with the 2 for now. Deck was a lot of fun. Yeah, every card was pretty decent. What were the weakest cards? Johnny was fine, but, you know, this card always looks better to me than it actually is. It's really just fine. You could probably play something better. I'm going to keep it for now because it was doing something a little different for my deck. I think I am going to cut 1 Mind Stone for a Iron Crag. I seem to have enough white mana. The fact that Demolition Field can be used pretty easily off Citadel and Enigma Jewel really does help with the fixing. And so I'm just going to split up my legendary things, and also, you know, the Iron Crag is colorless, so that helps with Ugin. I could maybe have, like, a 3rd Ugin, honestly. Maybe over a Johnny. That would probably be pretty reasonable. Ugin's been really good. Do I have enough ramp for a 3rd one? I don't know. I'm going to try Johnny a little longer. I don't expect myself to keep it, though. I think Ugin's probably better. I just want some more things that I could use the flip side of Enigma Jewel with in some matchups. But maybe that's silly. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.